Gather, veterans. It's time to join the fight. The long war begins.
This is The Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Wyatt Turk. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Yo, what's up?
We're all back from returning our videotapes last week.
It's true.
It's a trick. Trying to find a blockbuster these days.
Yeah.
It's not easy. And also, they're not in Orange County. I was just down there. I looked.
I don't even know where I took mine.
No.
But I'm done with it. I'm out.
There's a new show coming out called Blockbuster.
Yeah.
I think it's about like the last one, like right before it closes or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I might be misremembering the pitch of the show. Like maybe it's during the heyday of Blockbuster. I don't know. But like there's going to be a sitcom about people working at Blockbuster.
Yeah. I mean,
all these Gen Z kids are gonna be like, "What the fuck is this show even about?"
Yeah,
it's a period piece now.
It is a period piece.
Apparently, it's about the last Blockbuster store, the one in Oregon, I believe it is, and how they're fighting to stay relevant.
Well, isn't that the one that's like owned by the city or whatever?
I don't think so.
There's like a documentary about that one, or many documentaries. I don't fucking know. That's hilarious. Let me do an anecdote real quick, just before we speed run. So I wasn't here last week. That's I'm the reason why the podcast didn't happen, guys. I went to Orange County to take my lady to Not Scary's farm. Years ago, I said, "Hey, we should move to Orange County. It's a big county. There's a lot of great places." She said, "Orange County sucks," and that was the end of that discussion. She didn't expand. Years and years later, I find myself in Orange County for a sustained amount of time to go to Knott's Berry's Farms. Literally pulled in, get pulled over by a cop instantly. Tight. He's like, "Your tags are expired. I'm gonna, I could impound your shit for 30 days." And I'm like, "Bruh, this isn't even my record on how old my tags are." Like, I know the bit. I know what's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, we get a ticket, a correctable thing, whatever. We roll in the park, have a great time. Hours later, we're walking out of the park, still on property. Somebody tried to snatch Bonet's purse.
Yeah.
Like 3 hours after the ticket. Some dude on a little BMX bike hiding in the shadows ramps up his bike super fast, cuts past Bonet and grabs her purse. Now, at this moment, I will remind you of the game Tetherball. Remember that game?
Yes.
Bonet is the pole. The purse is the tether. The guy on the bike is the ball. She plants a foot. That motherfucker's like, "Argh!" Like spins around, like the way he lands. It's like so dexterous. Like he's like 1 inch from smashing all his teeth out of the concrete. Like he's just like holding there frozen. Like it was so sudden and fast. And at least like 100 people, like we're all just walking to the parking lot. And she's like, "Fuck you, man! This guy tried to steal my purse." And I'm like laughing. I'm like, "You fucking idiot!" Like, you're about to, what the fuck, dude? Like, I mean, like, if he'd hit the ground, that's it. It's me pulling out my phone, 9-1, just gonna wait there for a minute until Bonet tuckers herself out. And then and then it's like, "Yo, someone fell off their bike. It's bad. Get out here."
It's bad.
We laughed for like an hour on the way home. And then I'm like, in the car, I was like, "Oh yeah, Orange County sucks. I see what you meant now."
Jeez.
So, Bonet, she the dark soul born in blood, paragon of the wasteland, the mayor of Pone City, now purse snatcher's bane.
Nice.
She fucking doesn't play games, dog. Anyway, let me kick it over to Wyatt for Would You Rather.
Oh. Would you rather live underwater in a submarine or outer space in a spaceship?
What's the catch?
It's like that's where you live now.
The catch is you live in space or under the, like, okay, I said I live in a spaceship in outer space?
I have so many questions.
Do I have relevant contemporary technology? Like, what are we saying, Star Trek spaceship? Or are we saying, like, right now, NASA capsule bullshit?
Or are we talking, like, Navy sub bullshit? Because I don't fit in those.
The only submarine I can think of is, like, a Navy sub.
I don't fit in those.
I'm pretty sure you do.
No,
you can make it work,
I
dog.
don't.
mean,
I
you have to
don't
stoop.
because I've been.
You have
I
to
know
stoop.
this.
You just don't get to stand up straight. You still fit, dog.
There's,
I mean,
there's
I
got to be a
fit.
couple of rooms that you can stand up straight.
No, I cannot stand up in those.
He's made those didn't you make a Los Angeles before?
Not even in like the control
Virginia
room.
class. What?
Not
No.
even like the control room. Like
Barely, dude.
is everybody in the Navy like under 6 feet? Like what?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Do you remember our boy OTPH Jeezy, Matt Weezy? That's what. Think about his size. He was on a submarine.
And dude, just think about going down the coning tower. Like they're not made for people my size.
Nobody knows what a
coning
coning tower is.
Huh?
It's the big spout on top.
Yeah. It's the thing on top. How they get in.
That's how they breathe, right? That's the snorkel.
There's this. Yeah, I mean that's one of the ways.
JP
yeah.
Gray says 5'11" is the tallest for a sub crew.
Yes, dude. I would hit. I had, we wear hard hats, and dude, I just every 5 seconds. Boom,
Okay, so
boom.
it's like relevant technology to right now contemporary.
Well, I'm going with spaceship immediately because I can't fit in a sub.
So the meals on the sub are like what the Navy dudes normally eat on the sub. It's just like that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Do I have access to the torpedoes and shit?
No.
So the submarine is just like kind of a magic submarine floating around the ocean, and I always have food and
Yeah.
like, do I have like the internet, like as if they were as if they surfaced briefly, or do I also not have the internet?
Do they have the internet underwater?
Yeah, they surface and they do their emails and shit with their loved ones and stuff.
Do they have to surface?
Yeah, I mean, depending on how close they are.
I don't know.
I
I think they have to be close to the surface.
Yeah, they do.
As long as the sub is 100% underwater, you get whatever internet that is.
Someone let me know. Can I do the internet while still submerged 100% of the water? Because now, where's my spaceship?
Remember, subs don't always. They're not always like as deep as you think they are.
I know. I just want to make sure I have the internet, dog. That's the question. JP Gray says you don't have internet if you're under the water.
For the most part, you won't. No.
Okay. Am I in like an orbiting spaceship around Earth? Like, can I connect to the Wi-Fi to the satellites?
I don't think that's how that works.
Can I go 4G to the fucking cell phone satellite?
I don't think that's how that works.
Maybe you can use the Hubble.
I don't think they have the internet. I think you have to like do a direct connection, like a direct.
Do I have the
line to
NASA technology like they have where I can connect to the fucking internet?
Can they?
I would think
I did
that's
not
pretty
think you
much
could
a
be on the
thing.
internet.
Somebody NASA question. Now answer that. Basically, it's coming out of this. If I have the internet, that's the one I'm going to. If one of these
sure
things
you're
has the
good.
internet,
I'm leaning into. I don't think there's internet at all.
someone answer. So because I don't care now. Like if it's no internet, then
We need a NASAologist.
fuck. Like,
You got it. Yeah, you gotta have
Oh,
internet
okay.
because
So the
they
ISS
stream on the space station.
Well, I thought it was like video. I didn't think it was. They have the Wi-Fi, but apparently they do. I learned.
yeah, because there's like satellites in orbit, so they can get some.
Yeah, they're like live streaming their experiments and shit.
Okay, so Taco Grinder. So and then Jack says the antenna will need to break the surface. Can the submarine be underwater and its antenna breaks the surface and I can get it?
Yes, that's a thing.
I don't think they're getting no gig internet though. I'm doing the space station, or I'm doing the spaceship if I can get better internet.
I mean, it depends on where you are on the sub because
the whole sub is yours.
No,
It's
I
just
mean
you.
where you're at in the
Oh
water.
wait, food. I forgot about food. Food is probably worse than space.
Food is worse than space.
And I'm in 0G, so my body's atrophying for the rest of my life.
There's that too.
Yeah, but you finally get your Baron Harkonnen dream.
I do get my Baron Harkonnen dream. Damn, that's tight. Okay, sold me on the Baron Harkonnen dream. Doing the spaceship.
I have to do the spaceship. I will not live in a sub.
You won't fly. You won't do the literal opposite of flying, which is submarining. But you're gonna
No, it's
fly
not
into
that
space.
I won't.
Get the fuck
No,
out.
no, no, no. Dude, space. That's whatever.
Space is existentially worse than flying in an airplane, dude.
Cosmic horror.
Nah, I'm okay with space.
You're a complicated man, Rob Baer.
It wouldn't be the first time somebody's told me that. I got
JP
no
Gray
problems
says
with the
Gout would
sub.
get better in space. Do I have a window and I can see the planet?
Yeah, there's tons of windows.
Oh
in the
yeah,
ISS.
for sure.
You ever seen
Yeah.
the video of the dude singing Rocket Man?
Are there any
Or,
windows on submarines?
Is it Rocket Man or is the David Bowie song? I forget which one it's called. There's a famous video of him like sitting. It's like looks like a TIE fighter bubble. He's like sitting in the full window with Earth in the background, singing David Bowie song.
That's true.
Me and Rob, can we be in the same space station?
No,
Damn.
you are alone.
Are we
I'm
two
gonna
orbiting?
just-
Okay, do our spaceships that orbit to Earth occasionally come in range of each other? We can
No.
wave at each other?
No, you are utterly alone.
Okay. I'll be utterly alone in space. Got it. Do I have access to like open an airlock one day when I'm done with this exercise and I can just
It's a hard one because usually taking the easy way out is never allowed.
feel like after about 20 years I'll be at my limit.
Okay, we can put in a 20-year clause.
Do I have a sick spacesuit?
Yeah, dude, all spacesuits are sick. What are you talking about?
Can I? Because I feel like I'm definitely going to try to drop pod back to Earth at some point
No.
when I get the space crazies.
You want to get to space crazies. You're going to have to go out there and fix some shit from time to time. When you get at the micro debris.
Literally everything's in space. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm doing space. Oh, that's right. Zen was like, you'll die of cancer in 20 years. That's right, because like there's nothing screening celestial radiation out.
No, they have radiation
No,
shielding.
they got radiation shielding.
There's like a huge bubble of like radiation bouncing atmosphere that's actually in orbit. It's when you go past the moon. I forget what the actual term of it is, but that's one of the reasons that like doing a manned mission to Mars is so hard, because like outside of that sphere of influence, that's where it gets like real hard to shield. But yeah, they're all shielded. They're fine.
Got it. And no, chat, we're not in control of either of these vessels.
Once you get solar
They're
flare,
automated.
that could be an issue.
It's an automated magic vessel that keeps us perpetually alone in horror.
There you go. The Van Allen belt.
Oh, that's a good one, man. So let's kick it over. We're going to speed run the rest of this. Rob with the news, Blizzard news / Mantis news.
The news in general.com, .nut. So this week's GW pre-orders are actually mildly entertaining, I suppose, if you're a Sigmar fan. So the ogres are getting their day in the sun. They get that new blood pelt hunter that kind of looks like, what's that dude from Goonies? Chonk? The hey, you guys, kind of looks like him. $45 for that.
No one knows what movie you're talking about.
I don't believe that's true. Everybody in chat knows exactly what I'm talking about. The Ogre Maw Tribe's Vanguard box is $130. Also, the Sylvaneth are getting their Vanguard box, which is nice, finally. And then also the Battle Tome for the Ogre Maw Tribes. War Scroll cards for $35, and the War Scroll cards for Sons of Behemoth finally came in general, because I guess there was some sort of delay with getting the stuff from China and all sent out to all the G-dubs around the world. Maw Tribes dice for $40, Sons of Behemoth dice. So slowly the dice prices are going up an extra $5. They were $35. Well, they were $25 like 2 years ago. Now they're $35. Then they were $35. Now they're $40. Oh boy. Age of Darkness, Liber Imperium. That is all of the Sisters of Silence. Custodes, Solo Auxiliary rules. That's $60. And then also the Slaves of Darkness army set for $199 is coming out with the new Chaos Demon Prince will be in there that you can use for 40K or Sigmar. 2 squads of Chosen, the new Ogrids, and the Battle Tome and Codex or cards are in there. So it's actually pretty decent value, probably around $300-ish. I think our valuation was about $333 for 200. Get it ahead of time. I think a lot of people are going to be wanting that Demon Prince for sure. Early access. Yeah, that's the good stuff right there.
I'd buy that box. Some people were like upset about it. I was like, yo, a lot of that totally counts as Legionnaires, dude. I have no problems buying that box.
The Chosen look pretty sweet, like part wise. So
yeah.
You could use them for a lot of different
I have no
things.
problems in assimilating that into my Chaos Space Marines.
I haven't got my hands on them, but they seem to be Primaris size, which is kind of what Chaos is now. They're like more of a full scale, but they're Primaris size ish. I don't know what you want to call that. I don't think there's a term for it yet, but I ain't mad at it. think a lot of people are going to be pretty interested in that Demon Prince. Hopefully we can get one put together. I'm probably not going to do any video reviews this week. I'm low energy this week. I'll be honest. I'm super low energy. So I don't feel like putting together the Voton stuff. I wanted to put the Hecaton tank together, but I just don't think I'm going to get to it. I just want to chill out and play some games tomorrow. Hopefully. Been playing a lot of Star Wars Legion lately. Mando is pretty good. He's fun. It's definitely fun to play. I did want to, and for Necromunda, the Prometheum tanks, the refueling station, the thing everybody has in their garage, that's coming out for $47. Goliath vehicle cards for $16.25. And if you want your Prometheum tanks on a Cargo 8 hauler, well, that's going to cost you $60 this week. So there it is. Lots of Necromunda stuff too. A bit of weird news coming out of the UK. Wayland Games put out a big update. A lot of folks are already doing their Black Friday sales. It's just retail's really soft right now on the online kind of side of things. In-person retail seems to be doing okay-ish. It's definitely slow out there. When you here in the States, I think inflation's 8.2% and food is over 10. I think it's 13 point something. I haven't looked in the past week or so, but that's bad news bears for a lot of things.
I've been in a place in my life where I look at those numbers and I can quote them.
I try to stay up on.
That's like some adult shit right there.
That is some adult shit. Yeah, you're right. Well, because, I talk to a lot of companies, in the space and manufacturers and brands and things. And they're like, what's going on right now? Why is it so slow? And I'm like, well, Amazon's down 20%. Microsoft's down 20%. Like all these, everybody's off right now. It's not the norm is to be off right now.
Yeah.
So just be aware of that. If you buddies at the game stores, like we're having a hard time, it's probably not something uncommon right now, unfortunately, but hopefully it turns around for the holiday season. So a lot of Black Friday sales out there. Wayland Games put all their Heresy stuff, well, not all their Heresy stuff, but all the rule books are 50% off for Heresy, and their starter sets are 30% off. The big one, the one that was $300, 30% off. Can't do that. You can't sell that stuff that cheap here in the States, but they can over in England. And that was a really interesting precedence to see because we've already been hearing a lot of reports that, Heresy's not doing well because you can't get the staples right now. Everything's kind of selling out. And could be a bad precedent for the, longevity of the game, so to speak. But if they start getting some of the staples in, I can see where, hopefully it can turn around and people can get their armies built. But yeah, it kind of just something to keep an eye on. Tau and Ultramarine and Blank Templars actually are going on pre-order very soon over at Joy Toy. And that Shadow Sun and those Crisis battle suits are looking fresh. I don't know the price on them yet. And I imagine the Crisis battle suit is going to be as big as the Dreadnoughts that I've showed you in the past. Really excited to see how big those are. Kind of can't wait to see it. All the Redemptor Dreadnought variants are in stock in some of the Asian sellers. Also, I think the bikes have come in stock, the Outrider bikes, the different chapters they had of that. So really excited on that one. And they previewed like the Marshal, the Emperor's Champion. It looks really fresh. I think today they just dropped on their Twitter, the White Scar stuff is coming out very soon. And they showed the heads for the Sisters of Battle. So I would expect a reveal for them very, very shortly. I can't wait to kind of see those. God, so many. I'm kind of holding out for the Imperial Knight. I want the Imperial Knight, the Joy Toy Imperial Knight. That's what I want. Thinking about getting one of the Outrider bikes. I don't know yet. But very excited for those. Cherokee Open tickets went on sale, I think, yesterday. So if you're thinking about coming out to the Cherokee Open, it's a great venue. Lots and lots of room there. Really affordable. Pretty much everything, to be quite honest.
Yeah, this was a pretty nice place last year.
Yeah. If you like gambling, it's
a casino.
It's a casino. It's not bad. Sometimes there's a show there. Like, Bret Hart might be there.
Forgetting the best part.
What?
There's a Flavor Town.
There is.
You can mosey on down to Flavor Town for dinner time.
You can. It can get a little ridiculous at Flavor Town, but or like I said, was it Brett? What was the singer of Poison? Was it Brett Mike? No, Bret Hart. Who was the guy that was there?
I think it was Bret Michaels.
Bright Michaels, that's it. The Rock of Love.
Yeah.
Yeah, because all the 60-year-old ladies were there. We're like, what are you, Brad?
There was some rough individuals.
Gordon Ramsay's got a place there now too, Wyatt.
Oh,
it opened
okay.
This year, yeah.
Will somebody come out and scream at me?
Only if you pay extra, bro.
Ah, damn. Okay. Maybe if I tell them it's my birthday, they'll come out and call me an idiot sandwich or something. That'll be cool.
Hey, I'll tell them it's your birthday. We'll see what happens. Also, super big.
Sorry to interrupt. New idea for a restaurant. Major Pain themed. Damon Wayans movie.
Yes.
Where everyone's Damon Wayans, and they use like his cast of his script of insults that he used throughout the movie when they're taking your order. They're all your Jill Sargent / waiters. So a guy might just walk up to you and be like, "Look, ass eyes. What do you want, piggy?" My favorite insult of all time is ass eyes.
I forgot he said that shit. That's so good.
I sometimes fall asleep thinking that, like, ass eyes. So good.
God, now I need to watch that movie again.
What would you call it?
Chat? We'll circle back.
Okay. Yeah. I'm very curious on this one. Super big news. Like I was saying, Frontline Gaming put out a set of MCP terrain, their HDF pre-colored stuff, so you don't even have to paint it. 21 piece set. I think it's 165 or 170. They just put it out today. It looks pretty good. I haven't got my hands on it. I might buy a set. I don't know. Depending on how robust it is, because I'm a little hard on some of my terrain. But it looks pretty cool, and I'm definitely not painting all those MCP buildings, so that might be a good alternative. We'll definitely check that out as soon as we can, or maybe we'll see it at Cherokee if I don't buy it. I don't know. That would be pretty dope. Speaking of MCP, Atomic Mass Games put out a update for their Star Wars Battle Forces. So 2 of them came out missing components, actually missing some model pieces too. Unfortunately, they said they're going to do some sort of production run where you won't have to spend money to get this stuff. But they also put out the downloadable components that you can print out and have card wise, in case, you obviously need them. If you only bought the Battle Force, that's probably all you have to get a couple. It was like 2 cards for, I think, the 501st and the Separatist Battle Force. Unfortunately, it seems like the Rebellion one was okay, because that's out. I didn't notice anything wrong with it. So they're trying to get it straight. It looks like there was a mix up somewhere down the line. Things are going to happen. They kind of got the stuff from FFG kind of dropped in their lap, and wish them the best with it. But a lot of people are a little too critical on the Twitters towards them, unfortunately. But I suppose it is what it is. Twitter's wild out there, y'all. Twitter's wild. At the end of the day, it doesn't seem to matter much either, which is great.
I haven't sent out a twat in years.
Yeah. It's an interesting platform, to be sure, for a number of reasons.
Delete Twitter, not like your account, like Twitter needs to be deleted. That was my statement.
I probably wouldn't miss it. I mean, it doesn't do anything for publishers, really. Yeah.
I'm just saying, if I had like the type of money to throw around where I could just launch a somewhat hostile corporate acquisition, I'd probably just like turn the servers off and might drop out just because I could. I'll be like, I'll turn this back on when you've earned the privilege.
I don't know. They just migrate somewhere else. It's better to just keep.
Well, the thing is, unless you borrowed all that money from a bunch of other people.
Yeah, because then you're on the line.
But he could just go to space.
Just go to space.
They can't get him up there.
Touche.
It's true. And one last thing, next weekend, if you're looking to do a lot of tabletop gaming, not only is there a pre-release for the next Magic set, Brothers War, but there's also a pre-release for Pokemon as well. So game stores might be a bit crowded next weekend, and it's also Veterans Day weekend. So going to be a lot going on on the game store scene next weekend for sure.
New Pokemon game coming out soon.
Oh yeah,
I think it's the 18th. want to say it's the 18th.
What platform? What are we talking about?
The video game. The new day.
Oh, video game. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotta catch them all.
Duh. 20 years straight. Plus.
I mean, they have a working like formula, dude. Like those games are super fun.
Oh yeah. I mean, I loaded the old Pokemon Red and Gold, Silver on my Game Boy, from the 90s. And I was like, yep, we're going to do this again.
Motherfucker, you loaded it up for 10 minutes, tops.
So my new addiction.
No, I mean, I put them on there. I didn't say I played it.
Oh, okay. I was like, you didn't play those motherfuckers.
They're on there.
So
I did not play them.
My new addiction right now is I found out there was an app where you can take like all of your Pokemon from previous games and then port them over to this like storage app, and then you can trade from the app. And so I've just been, you can load up like,
this is like NFT Pokemon cards backed by a crypto blockchain from gambling. Game Boy 84. Dude,
it's Pokemon gambling. Like you can load up 3 of like, I want this for this, but then you can do 10 where it's pure random. Like you're just sending these out into the void and you get 10 random ones back. Bro. And so like, I'll just load up 10 trash Pokemon I don't want. And then 10 minutes later, I'll get a notification. I'll be like, ooh, what did I get? A whole
it's like open a pack of Magic cards, except for it's digital Pokemon.
Yeah, it is super addictive. Well, it's not like Magic because Magic is a waste of money. This is free.
Whoa. Let's not say stuff like that. Let's not say stuff like that.
Why?
I got some Magic cards.
Well,
no, Magic's not. The thing is, Magic's not a waste of money. It's proven empirically over the last 20 years that it absolutely is. It's not like 40K. Like 40K is more of a waste of money if you think about it in terms of return on your investment, like ROI. Like Magic cards, if done correctly, there is a potential ROI. So it's not a waste of money if done correctly. Quite literally, there can be a reacquisition of money. But as a hobby, I don't see the allure.
Yeah, it's a bit like Magic is fine. I personally have an ethical dispute with the way that like they're sold. Like if I could buy a pack and it listed out exactly what cards come in every single pack, then I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Then it wouldn't be gambling anymore.
Well, see, that's my problem is it's gambling. And if it's not for real money with like skill involved, then I don't want it.
Well, that's fair. I did buy the 40K Commander decks, the collector's versions, the super shiny ones.
And those tell you what you get, right? Like it's a set.
Yeah, you know exactly what comes in.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with those types of releases.
Yeah, I don't really crack packs, so to speak. I bought the 40K decks. I bought a couple extra sets because I figured they'd go up in price, and they sure as heck did. So I'm just sitting on those because why not? But yeah, I mean, if Magic is
sick investment portfolio,
dude, man, invest in what you're passionate about.
I got a Charizard still.
Dude, it's worth some money.
I don't have that. I'm just lying, dude. And you think I kept something for more than 5 weeks at a time? Like, dog, come on.
I'm still finding shit I stashed away. I'm like, oh yeah, I still got that.
Oh, so here's the winner, House of Pain. James Teal.
Oh, it's so good.
That would be a good one.
It's House so good.
Congrats. Thank you.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
I think James Teal just won.
That's the callback.
I don't know what you want.
The name of our Major Pain themed restaurant in Cherokee. What's the city that's in?
Cherokee.
In Cherokee. What's the state that it's in?
North Carolina.
Yeah.
Cherokee, North Carolina. House of Pain.
There it is.
Major Pain themed restaurant.
Yeah, so that's all right. So it might be a little crowded next weekend, so just be on the lookout there. Hopefully coming out soon, maybe for Black Friday weekend, is Imperial Guard stuff, and we got a little preview that I wanted to talk about and get you guys' thoughts on the new Rogaldorm battle tank.
Right. It's a dope looking tank.
It is a dope looking tank. Now,
sorry. What were you saying?
Well, I was just gonna say, size wise, it looks like the Malkador tanks or the Macarius, with the two different turrets on it, but in a plastic version, treads a little different. I'm sure you could draw some real life tank comparisons. I don't know which one it's supposed to be based off of.
Oh, that's what we talked about. We saw like the blurry image is it's got kind of the turret is different because it has like an extended mantlet, which is more of an American thing. Yeah. So, I mean, like, see if I can find a better, it almost reminds me of like a Walker Bulldog turret that's blown way out of proportion. But I mean, like turrets are very similar. Like I don't like how there's this extra like kind of spotter cupola that like sticks out from the side of the turret. That's like a huge weak spot. But overall, I think it's pretty cool. And then the chassis is kind of like it's like a Matilda or like a Black Prince, but it's just really tall. It has sponsons. Sponsons weren't a thing after World War I. They were like not that tight.
So you have a mustache. And you say you chose this time now to go full boomer on your tank analysis?
Yeah, dude. I mean, I've stated multiple times, it's a matter of public record. I am a huge tank nerd.
You're going harder than you normally do, and I feel like the mustache is in charge now.
It might be.
The mustache has become self-aware. All right. Well, thanks, tank nerd. Let's talk about the rules real quick. So,
wow. Don't ask my opinion if you don't want it. Jeez.
I did want it.
For the record, you cut in. No one asked.
No, I asked him. I was like, Wyatt can tell us what it is.
I just being mean to the mustache. I'm talking to the mustache, not you, Wyatt.
I know you're jealous. I know it's okay.
Don't you talk to me about jealous, mustache like that.
I'm jealous of your bravery.
Yeah.
I'm jealous that you have facial hair.
Yeah. That brings me perspective. I retract my snide comment.
I was like, nothing really. Nothing.
My snide remark, just a few seconds ago, I take it back.
Yeah, that's fair. So the Rogel Dorm battle tank, 17 wounds, toughness 9 though, and the Baneblade's toughness 9 too with 13 wounds, or excuse me, 30 wounds.
I was about to be very surprised. Yeah, it's a beefy boy.
They're both semi beefy boys. The tank turret special rule apparently is true. It is +1 to hit turret rule.
Oh, so they're not doing the double shoot anymore?
I mean, that could be part of the turret weapon rule. They just said that it can fire at any enemies they want when locked in melee, and also adds +1 to their hit as a bonus. So,
it's got different turrets.
Yeah, it's got
like totally different turret designs between the weapons. Like I'm just not noticing this. Like the double barrel variant does not have. No, it does. The camo is throwing me off. So it's just different guns. Okay.
Yep.
Sad.
It also moves 10 inches, just like the Baneblade, which, I mean, seems pretty good. Seems
well. They all move 10.
Yeah, they all move 10, which is really interesting. So I don't know if there'll be a lumbering rule or something. I got to dig out the big old rumors, all the rumors for this.
That's interesting because all of these change to 10. Knights move to 10. The Land Fortress and the Sagittar move 10. So I'm wondering if something fills that role. Maybe they're all moving to 10 as sort of an update in 10th edition for the smaller board size.
Smaller board size, like the current board size? Yeah. Or do you think they're going to change it again?
No, I think it's going to stay the same. It's just
instead of 12, it's 10.
Yeah, I foresee a lot of like
10 inches is the new 12 inches.
Yeah,
like right, because it scales it back.
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah, that definitely makes sense. But I mean, the problem, I forget how long is the Baneblade? Because I feel like it's more than 10 inches wide because it won't fit in the deployment zone, right? Because I had to make that rule about.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, I don't feel like it fits in a 12-inch. I forget now because
the update to that was that like it just can't move on the first turn. That's fine.
Right. So I'm wondering if they'll take any of that in deployment zones into account for a lot of these big beefy vehicles we have now.
That's already a rule.
Yeah, it seems like a fair rule to carry over.
Yeah, I definitely would.
Which is good because we at this point we do have to speculate on 10th edition with a lot of these rules coming out, these new codexes, new factions, you start to see trends, like, Votan, we saw a lot of trends, etc. But keeping the pace moving forward, let's slide into this MetaWatch article real quick.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So we know Guard's coming out with some baller tanks. The Guard community seems pretty happy with some of these leaks, or deliberate or otherwise. But let's kick over to Wyatt real quick. We've already talked about the MetaWatch article several times today, all the way back to a few hours ago to Tactics. So what's your take on that?
I think it's overall a pretty good article. There's not a whole lot of new information. That's not the point of this article. It's more so to kind of cover the overall discussion about the MetaWatch stuff. And so the major takeaway is they're stating up front that, like, this is our data sample size. So they show the same graph that we saw last time, dated October 17th. And they're like, we look 60 days prior to that day. Like, that's our sample size of data set, right?
Which makes sense, because you can't just go all the way back to the beginning, because that's skewed.
So that's kind of cool to know. The second thing is they're talking about how, like, moving forward, they want to make deliberate light touches on things, because they want to, get away from the big knee-jerk type stuff that nobody likes. So good on them.
Which could be indicative of a lesson learned, right? Like, if it's if it's light touches, then we have less chance that something like the more recent rule about engagement range and obscuring terrain,
right? Because if they have to walk stuff back, that doesn't look good.
Yeah, no, definitely, it doesn't sit well with anybody. So light touch seems to be a lesson learned. Solid position coming from the game design studio. Yeah, they talk about how making the smaller changes creates more accurate data, which is good. And they also kind of mentioned that there was a lot of events that happened where the rules cutoff already happened for this. So they're basically saying, like, hey, this happens sometimes where, like, you guys are watching a big event and you're wondering why, like in this example, like, NIDs are still just crushing it out. It's because their rules cutoff happened before we released the data slate. So you have, like, when these data slates happen, you might have to give it a couple of weekends before it takes full effect to, like, see how that affects things. Kind of just chill out there. And then we got the next episode of drama between PR and game design with a really passive aggressive comment about Votan stuff. And they talk about the Kansas City Open. Blood Angels won. Congrats to Zach Kerstetter. This Blood Angels crushing it out in Kansas City. Is he the one that has the Devastator squads in his Blood Angels army?
No. He's got Dante and Lamarty's, though.
Ah, okay.
Marty's kind of a off-meta pick. Pretty cool.
Does he have 3 Death Company squads or 2?
He's got 2.
2.
Yeah.
No, that's good. That's good tech, because that means he also probably has 3 Secondary Guard squads.
He does.
So, like, if you stack up enough Death Company units, then you can choose which one of those Killy secondaries do you want to do. Do you want to do the Blood Angel, or do you want to do the Death from Above one, or do you want to do the Blood Angel or the Death Company one? The Death Company one's really good in certain matchups. He only has 3 Death Company units, Lamartis is included. But using the pre-game move, you're basically able to, like, shove a Death Company unit in the guy's deployment zone turn 1, which is 4 points for relentless assault. Kill something, which is 3 points for the Death Company secondary. And then they're going to kill a Death Company, which is 1 point. So you get 8 points on sacrificing a Death Company unit turn 1. Right? So I like that he can go between those 2, Death from Above or the Death Company one. Typically, people have 1 more Death Company if they're trying to do that, but he's got 2 Thunderhammer units and Lamartis. I feel like he's got some up his sleeve, and he won the fucking event. So I love to see what secondaries he picked all weekend.
That'd be cool. I wonder, can you look at that in? Oh, it wasn't on. Was it on BCP the event? I assume it was. Can you see the? Did they use the battle app thing? Does that show up in there or no?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay, maybe not. Yeah, that's pretty much it. They do have a video with Stu Black from the design team talking about a bunch of things. We don't have time to go over all the details, but it's a pretty good watch if you want to get a deeper dive into what they're talking about.
Absolutely. Yeah. And so with this new, and I love these new MetaWatch article, like the tone in these articles. Like I love it, like because it's becoming clearer and clearer as we've mentioned ever since the Votan pre-nerf, and the James Workshop video gag and all that shit. It's becoming clear that there's something going on between those two departments, and
for sure,
the tone of MetaWatch absolutely has been reflected. That it's been professionally curated. They're very knowledgeable in the things they're saying, especially in those videos. They keep revealing to us information and they keep standing their ground and using leadership and strength in their position as they move forward and recover from the Votan incident. But, good on them. But a lot of this gives us a lot like 10th edition speculation, right? We talked a little bit about Votan earlier today, why it was struggling with these nerfs and everything to figure out how to play the lists. Shooting's kind of not that tight right now, et cetera, et cetera. But we started kind of like thinking about like, well, in 10th edition, if, the game resets, right? Terrain, we have a new terrain density rules, editions often start and they say, hey, leave it alone. So we probably won't be playing with any player optimized terrain. We'll be interacting with new terrain sets, new secondaries. And oftentimes what happens there is shooting is pretty good in the early game. Alpha strikes, bullets, firing lanes, looks pretty good for a while. So Votan and Guard, I think, are going to be set up as pretty powerful armies, especially right now when you think of all these vehicles. And it's hard to get excited about vehicles right now when they're just not the right choice for a competitive game of Warhammer 40K, because the secondaries, after we got the Nephilim season, they got rid of our To the Lasts and Strangleholds, and we don't have 12 CPs and Eat Our Cake and all that shit. Like, they're not the right choice right now in many situations, though they're not useless. They're exactly as powerful as they used to be. The same points most of the time. They still do what they're supposed to do. It's just that, like, this tank or another 5 Raptors and 3 bikes. The game, like right now, we're playing the infantry meta, the dick punch meta, and trade meta. And so I speculate when we turn over next year that you're going to see Votan and Guard stand real strong, just based on what's happened in 8th and 9th, just using that. But that also brings us all the way back to Rob and Space Marines and where we're going with these supplements.
Yeah, so if you look at GW likes to, find something that works and stick with it. Like every 3 years, we're getting a new edition of the game or some sort of hobby supplements, like we saw this year with the new contrast paints, and they changed the formula on some of the washes and stuff. So 2019, at LVO, they unveiled Shadow Spear. They're like, hey, check this out. Basically Space Marines 2.0. And then later that fall, we got Space Marine supplements for all the different chapters, as well as a 2.0 book. Matter of fact, the Space Marine 2.0 book for 8th edition came out less than a year to the 9th edition Space Marine book, which came out 11 months later in 2020 after Indominus came out. So there's a bit of a precedence here, but now we're dealing with, COVID delays and stuff. So I've heard a lot of different things, that supplements are still on the table. They'll probably be coming out later in 2023, like full supplements for each chapter. The 2.0 book, supposedly, the 2.0 release will be after World Eaters, is what I've heard from a bunch of different sources. But I've also heard there's going to be stopgaps to come out with the 2.0 book. Something about either some sort of formations or some armies of renown. Sometimes people say the same things. It's, rumors are rumors. And a lot of this is just pure speculation, but also sometimes people know things. But keep in mind too, when it comes to rumors.
So you're saying that there's precedent for a Space Marine 2.0 book to come out in 9th edition while we're on the precipice of changing it in 10th edition.
Yeah. I mean, in theory, if you follow what GW did last time, it should have already come out. But we know they were looking to do codexes, like 2 codexes a month, and that never happened because of COVID. So they're kind of behind now. So it's possible that following the World Eaters drop, we'll get some sort of,
So when do you think 10th is actually going to drop? All
indicators seem to say summer of 2023. I'd be very surprised if we didn't get it. Now,
so like you're saying like as soon as July?
Or even June. 9th edition was supposed to drop on June 5th, 2020, but it was delayed a month.
So do you think that they're just going to delay 10th like back a little bit if they still have a bunch of codexes in the pipeline that are still supposed to be 9th?
No, that's what I'm saying is chances are we'll see just the Space Marine Codex 2.0 drop with some sort of little data sheets for each chapter. And then later in 2023, after the new edition comes out, we'd see something like the supplement books for like Ultramarines, Imperial Fists, Iron Hands, etc. Because it's just the spacing on it because of COVID.
So we got a Space Marine 2.0 book, 3 months of action in 9th, then 10th, then the journey cycles back over, starting with Space Marines, as it almost always does?
Well, it would start, in theory, it would start with supplement books because you'd already have, they couldn't sell a space. Look, everybody knows this shit's coming or thinks this shit's coming. So everything past New Guard, New World Eaters, and Votan is going to be a really hard sell for hobbyists. Because why the fuck are you going to buy anything when we're on the precipice of an edition change? Like, that's kind of ludicrous unless you're just like so into Custodes. You want to buy some Custodes, then go for it. Have fun. But most people aren't going to do that. So to get people hype to play something like Space Marines, which is probably the only thing they could actually sell hobbyists on, they would have to come out, in my mind at least, with some sort of dope ass new box set with dope ass new models and say, hey guys, guess what? This 2.0 book, it's preloaded for the new edition. So yeah, new edition coming, and this book will be 100% compatible, guys, and it still works right now. And that's kind of the only way they'd be able to sell it to folks.
You're right. So,
because I mean, people aren't dumb, man. We kind of see through the way they're marketing their things at this point.
People are making a lot more responsible financial decisions with their hobby money these days.
They sure have. So, I mean, you know, or there might not be any supplement books. There could just be these little armies of renown or these data sheet formations that's all we're going to get for Imperial Fists and Iron Hands, etc. You know, I think depending on the success of Black Templars in GW terms, that has already dictated what they're going to do for the supplement books or the rest of the chapters. If Black Templars were a hit for GW, which I'm not sure they were, then I think we would get supplement books 100%. But I would say it's still 50-50 at this point.
Thank you for that intuitive breakdown of the future of Space Marines. As they mentioned in the MetaWatch article, they say it's for them difficult to balance Space Marines because they like to do broad stroke adjustments, has been their method for a long time.
They mess with the other chapters.
Manipulating the core book manipulates the chapters, and though we all know, as Wyatt has mentioned earlier, the pregame, like the solution is just don't do that. Just this is not for them, right? It's like for some reason GW doesn't like doing that. GW doesn't like saying this exact thing that we have a problem with. You can't do this shit. They like to write a clean, like generalized rule with classy words that slots right in and doesn't call to attention the thing they want to change, but does change it. And then a lot of times it works great, and sometimes it's a disaster. So if that's the way they like to balance the game, then I can see why balancing core Space Marines isn't a problem for them. They mentioned it in that video. So I also think that's kind of telling of some of the things Rob is talking about right now. So,
well, some other indicators too in the previous MetaWatch article, when they dropped the data slate, they're like, "Yo, we didn't do anything for Guard because guess what? Guard's coming out," and you could kind of take that as an inference as to, hey, we just gave Space Marines a secondary because maybe they're getting something soon.
I mean, that's also on brand what they just said, small changes.
Yeah. That's
but
true
also
too.
Somebody in chat just said something that cracks me up. Disflux was like, Space Marine players suck, so it's hard to balance them. Some GW guys. Like, Ted, yeah.
Again, savage, but true.
It's savage, but it's what they said in the article, right, was beginners. Beginners, most people's first experience in Warhammer 40K is Space Marines. And so a lot of Space Marine data comes from beginners. So it's innately skewed. And also they mentioned that many people who don't play Blood Angels, Dark Angels, or Space Wolves don't do the chapter selector when they're playing an ITC event. And so they don't know even what chapter they're playing, which is kind of even more indicative of like of them being beginners, right? Because like all the dudes who are playing Blood Angels, Dark Angels, and Space Wolves, veterans, they know what they're doing and they're filling that out, right? So they're not even sure what's wrong. So the thing that they did something with almost no negative ramification. Here is a secondary that no one takes. It's a little better.
Yeah, that's fun.
But it's all good stuff, like it's all good stuff. We came back from a bunch of tournaments. We SoCal Open. We got LVO and Horizon. We got Cherokee Open and Horizon, then Adepticon. So like there's a lot of game action. And also I want to throw this out there. If you're going to LVO, I'm not playing in the tournament. I am running a paint seminar. I keep forgetting to advertise this shit.
Oh yeah, get your tickets now.
So I think there's only 20 spots. I don't know how many's left. So get on there if you want to take the 101 painting seminar with me. My boy, my personal assistant will be there. OTPHGZ, Matt Weezy himself. So, and also a Long War doubles event, as we like to do. So, yo, give me that money. That's all I'm saying. Like, I get a cut of those things. I'm not playing because I want to make some money, so hook me up.
I think that's fair.
It's a good speed run, guys. We gotta get Wyatt and Rob to bed.
But on different space stations. They can't touch.
God damn it. That's the saddest part about that, would you rather? Is that I know Rob's out there orbiting the same planet as me, and I never see his ass. Can't even I can't even put my butt cheeks on the glass and like, look at my butthole as I move around.
Yeah, we can send. Yeah, I don't know. No docking.
That's unfortunate. Anyway, well.
Yep.
Thanks for being a part of this podcast, though we weren't here last week. Thank you for joining us this week. Let me kick it over to Wyatt to take us out of here.
I thought he was going to take us out of here. So that's it for this one, y'all. Thanks for watching. Make sure you head on over to thelongwar.net for early access content and exclusive videos. Become a veteran of the Long War today.